The last time I touched this game, ARK Survival Ascended, was at the very beginning of 2025. So it's been well over a year. So for today's video, I thought I'd do a little bit of a one-off, basically just testing this game. Maybe we can see how much progress, if any, has been made in terms of optimizing this title, and whether or not that might warrant a comeback to this game. Something that actually has happened in the last year or so is actually the player counts for ARK Survival Evolved versus ARK Survival Ascended. Now I know, certain folks have certain feelings about using Steam charts to determine whether or not a game is succeeding, but it does seem to be the only data point available to use here. So yeah, while I realize that this isn't representative of the entire player base, you know, console as well as PC, it does still give us a rough indication as to how each game is doing. You can see I've got them side by side here. I've got the graphs set to 1 year, and if we were to, for example, just take the very recent data point, so Monday, March 30th, for ARK Survival Evolved, 25,000. For ARK Survival Ascended, 35,000. That's about 40% higher. Now, while ARK Survival Evolved enjoyed a bit of a peak of 65,000 back in June of last year, it does seem like overall, on average, the tides have turned in that ARK Survival Ascended seems to be enjoying a higher overall average player count these days. Now, could that be because there's been quite a lot of DLC map drops and creature additions to ARK Survival Ascended compared to Evolved? It's entirely possible. Could it be possible that folks have flocked to Ascended because they have made a good amount of optimization updates and quality of life updates and whatever other updates may have been added to this game? I just don't know. So ladies and gentlemen, my name is Python, and this is how ARK Survival Ascended used to perform for me. It has got to be said, the game's performance in the caves here is absolutely appalling. Okay. The performance, man. The performance! Just to give you folks an idea of just how bad the performance is in this game, look at this. These are the settings I'm running. Like, I've got low on just about everything. Yeah, not all too great, eh, my friends? Now, it's probably worth mentioning that my PC specs, which actually are shown on screen for you guys right now, they actually haven't changed since the last video. So this should be a pretty good indicator as to whether or not this game's optimization has actually gotten better over the last year. I certainly hope so. It's also worth mentioning, I do realize that my PC specs are a couple of generations old at this point, but still, by 2026's standards, I would still consider that setup to be maybe mid-tier now, as opposed to maybe mid to top tier when I first got the PC back in 2020. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's pop into the game and let's see what's what. Now, to make this test as fair as possible, we're just going to go onto the island, and I'm going to use a variety of different graphic settings to see what works. And I'm also going to go to various locations on the island. Alrighty, so here we are spawning into the world. Definitely a good amount of FPS drops at the very beginning there, but obviously that's just because all the textures and the world was loading in. Actually, this seems pretty smooth so far. What graphic settings am I actually using off the rip here, though? Okay, so we're only using the low graphics preset. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to try the epic graphics preset first. I'll be honest, I'm not expecting great things, especially considering my PC specs are a couple of generations old, as I was mentioning before. But we'll have a look anyway. We'll see what this thing does. I mean, it's not unplayable, but I could definitely notice a good amount of input delay, weirdly. So, let's go ahead and do the stat FPS command, and on the right-hand side there, you can see a whole bunch of numbers flicking through. So, we're enjoying about, what, 30, maybe 40 FPS at our spawn location here. So I've just made my way over to where I set up my base in my last ARK Survival Ascended Let's Play, and we actually actually seem to be getting slightly more frames around here. About 45, 50, maybe a smidge over 50 every now and again. That could be, though, because we're at the very, very edge of the map. I dare say if we look sort of in the map, yeah, okay, the FPS does dip a little bit, but actually not by much. I'm kind of surprised, actually. The big test for me, my friends, is how this game is going to perform when we explore some caves. This is the cave where I discovered the most amount of FPS drop in my last ARK Survival Ascended Let's Play, and it's definitely pretty struggly in parts. But, I mean, so far, this isn't actually too bad. There's definitely a good amount of stuttering here and there, but it's not unplayable. And this is on maximum graphics settings as well. I'm genuinely surprised. So far, so good. This isn't actually performing all that bad. And again, we're on maximum graphics settings. So what happens if we turn our settings down to medium? Should we give that a bit of a go? Maybe we'll enjoy slightly more consistent performance. Maybe not as many stutters. Wow, okay. Definitely not as many stutters. Wow. This is actually buttery smooth. This actually isn't performing too bad. I feel like the more I say that, the more I'm going to sound like I'm being paid by ARK to make this video. But actually, this genuinely is me just, you know, peak curiosity. I wanted to see how this game performs nowadays. And here we are. So I could even play this game at medium graphics settings and still enjoy a relatively stable experience here. 70, 80 FPS, maybe even 90 on occasion there. Go on then, just for the sake of curiosity, let's put it on the lowest of the low graphics settings. And let's see what kind of FPS we get now. Oh my goodness me. Wow, this place looks a little bit skew-whiff with the weird lighting now. But again, enjoying a very stable frame rate here, folks. So let's go ahead and explore maybe some other parts of this cave. Maybe there's some areas that might offer a bit more of a test for us. But, yeah, I mean, honestly, not bad. Blimey O'Reilly, on the lowest of the low graphic settings, it looks like someone has left the light on everywhere. But as you can see on the FPS on the right-hand side there, we are just absolutely rolling in it FPS-wise. 170 I'm seeing there quite often. Very nice. All right, let's go ahead and put this up to, I'm going to say medium once again. And the game crashed. That's not very good, is it? And that crash completely reset all progress and my entire character. So here I am spawning in as a fresh spawn once again. Okay, whatevs. Let's go ahead and get the stat FPS back up and we can get back to our testing. So it was me changing my graphics preset to medium. That seems to crash it all the time. That is now twice in a row it's done that. Alrighty, so just a little bit of a side note. Turns out I can change the graphics preset when I'm not in-game. Okay, noted. The only other location I think I want to take a look at is the sort of central swamps and forest areas. Only if my previous Let's Play is anything to go by, the forested areas of the world are the most taxing on the graphics card. But yeah, as you can see, not doing too bad on medium settings. I dare say if I tried to pump this up to epic, I might see a bit of a difference. Oh yeah, there is a big old difference here, my friends. A significant amount of input delay as a result of the lowered FPS. I mean, don't get me wrong, it looks great. But yeah, performance-wise, nah. Epic, it's not really for this PC setup, is it? Not really. To wrap up the testing portion of today's video, I thought I'd go ahead and do a slightly more direct comparison. I've actually got the exact same graphics settings I had as per earlier in today's video when I showed you the graphic settings from my old ARK Survival Ascended Let's Play. So this is what we're running. Let's go ahead and save this, and let's see what kind of frame rate and experience we're rolling with now. We're not looking too bad. 60 to 70, maybe even 80. I think I saw 90 even there. FPS. Not bad at all. So let's try the caves here. Just popping in. And, well, seems to be nice and buttery smooth now, my friends. Now, it's worth mentioning that some of you folks in the comments area of the last episode of the old ARK Survival Ascended Let's Play told me that apparently single player handles generating the world a little bit differently, in that generating the caves is different than generating the surface. So there's going to be a bit of stuttering while the game basically changes from rendering the outside world to rendering the caves instead. I think that's sort of very rough approximation of how it works. You know, don't take my word as gospel. But yeah, as you just saw there was a massive lag spike there as the game switched back to rendering the overworld here. So here we are back at the forested tree parts of the world. 40 to 50 FPS we seem to be getting. Not too bad. And finally, checking out my old base area. Oh yeah, buttery smooth. I think overall from this video I can deduce that actually over the last year and a bit I haven't been playing this game, the optimization and as a result the frame rate have actually gotten better. So credit where it's due, Studio Wildcard. You've done a good job. Seriously, you have. Well done. As much as, yes, I was pretty darn critical in that one video I did last year where I was basically painting ARK Survival Evolved as the golden boy, yeah, I will give credit where it's due. And honestly, in the last year, they've done, actually, a pretty good job in optimizing this title. Now, does this mean I'm going to come back to this game full-time and give it another stab with another series? I don't know, if I'm honest. I do miss ARK. I'm still yet to complete the game for the very first time, and I'm aware that I have started many, many ARK series, and I've wound up abandoning each and every single one of them. So I would definitely understand if that idea was met with some skepticism. But at the end of the day, I do still enjoy ARK. I know I'm very on and off again with it, but I do enjoy it overall, I really do. And me seeing this performance increase and optimizations made to this game, it fills me with hope that maybe this could be the time to hop back in. So, of course, if you guys have any thoughts on the matter, do please let me know in the comments area down below. It's worth noting that there is going to be another game coming to this channel very, very shortly called Vintage Story. And the best description I can give for that game is think Minecraft, but hyper-realistic. Like, literally, even making something as simple as a pickaxe requires you to do quite a lot of in-depth things. Like, you have to make yourself pickaxe molds and all that kind of stuff. It's very, very in-depth. But yeah, that series will be coming when the new 1.22 update does us the honor of being dropped. So yeah, I don't really know when I would start an ARK Survival Ascended series, if I did. But if you guys want me to, then yeah, perhaps I will. If there's some demand for it, if there's some hype and love for it in the comments area, or by you folks dropping likes and support on this video, then who knows? I might just consider it, my friends. For now, though, that is going to wrap it up for today's video. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed today's very rough testing video. I know it's very, very rough. Like, I didn't do it in a very scientific way. I'm very much aware of that. All I wanted to do is see how this game performs after the year and a bit I haven't played this. And overall, it's vastly improved. But anyways, drop a like if you've enjoyed today's little one-off video. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out on my future content. But yeah, thank you very much for watching. Let me know your thoughts about a possible return to ARK Survival Ascended in the comments area below. And yeah, have a great rest of your day.